Hey guys, V8's here with another video review. Up for review today we have the latest release from Sideshow Collectibles in their Iron Man line of statues, this being the Quarter Scale Mark 42 Maquette from the Iron Man 3 franchise. Before we look at the statue, let's review the box. Sideshow went with a pretty simplistic design with the box, black background with a picture of the figure on the front and the back. Nothing too fancy and pretty straightforward. I feel they could have done a lot more, but I mean, it's a box, so I'm not complaining so much. Once you open up the box, this is what you're greeted with. The statue comes in 5 pieces and is packed in the new dense foam, which all our collectors are grateful for. Assembly is pretty straightforward. First you start with inserting the body into the base. Then you choose the head you want to display it with. The statue comes with 2 types of heads, an open helmet or a closed helmet, and you're done. While the open head is a nice welcome addition, I personally went with the closed helmet for my display options. I just feel it looks better as a suit with the helmet flipped down. Before we start with the review, I want to speak a bit about the Iron Man franchise and how it's evolved in the last decade over what we were originally used to in the late 80s and 90s. The whole popularity craze began with the first Iron Man movie, and then the sequels, and then the Avengers movies after that. Now, Iron Man was not always a favorite character of mine. I liked the suit and I read a couple of the comics, but it was not something that I would actively seek out. The craze began, with me at least, with the Hot Toys figures, because I missed out on the original suits. So that's why whenever any of the new Iron Man statues was announced, I was immediately going ahead and placing an order on that. But one question that always came to me was, whenever the Iron Man Mark 42 statues were released, is why are they so late, considering the fact that the movie itself came about 2 or plus more years ago. One bit of information that I heard was that Marvel was actually forcing companies like Sideshow and others who are currently among the franchisees. Marvel was actually forcing them to take out products based on the franchise. It's a bit weird, but okay. So that's what I heard. Anyway, on with the review. The statue is based on the Iron Man 3 franchise, like we said. It's a fully sculpted statue. The edition size is about 3,000. The pose is dynamic, classic Sideshow, one leg front, one leg back. But it's a welcome change from static poses. The only issue I have with the pose is I'm not sure how will this hold in terms of longevity with regards to leaning. The pose is awfully similar to the Wolverine Legendary Scale pose, and I'm sure seasoned collectors among you would know about the leaning issues that comes with that statue. Personally, it looks stable, and it doesn't look like it's gonna lean, but you never know with time. The statue also comes up with lighting features. These are basically the main piece in the chest, both pieces in the palms, and the eyes in the helmet. A point to mention here is you could either use batteries to light them up, or you can use a power adapter, which is a feature that I really appreciate in case you would like to light up your statues constantly. One thing I noticed though is the blasters on the foot do not light up, unlike some of the other Iron Man statues, for example the legendary scale. I think it could have easily been done, since there is space between the leg and the base, but it's not something that makes a big issue, but it was something that I felt that I need to mention. The base on the statue is a controversial item for me. While I appreciate the fact that Sideshow did not go with a boring base, I feel the execution on the final product wasn't done well. The rock formation is good, but for some reason the metal bar that they choose to put on the base to emulate a battle scene does not do it for me. I don't know, is it the color or is it the overall look? It just does not work for me. Welcome addition in this statue is a portrait of what seems to be Robert Downey Jr. Don't get me wrong, it's not done bad. It's a good resemblance of the character, but I feel the paint could have been done a bit better. Another interesting bit I want to mention before we move on to the next section of the review is this statue happens to be the companion piece of the Iron Patriot. The edition size on that statue is a bit larger, with that at 3,500 and this at 3,000. But the odd thing is, for some reason, this statue is about $30 more. And considering the fact that the other statue actually came with a head, the alternate head display base, I honestly do not understand why are we paying $30 more. I mean, maybe yes, okay, the pose is a bit more dynamic, and in terms of overall volume, this is a bigger statue, but we got an extra head display stand in that one. It's the same body type, the paint is different. I think Sideshow is just trying to cash in on the popularity of the Mark 42 suit and just upped the ante by $30 and took away the head display base. I mean, I would have gladly paid a bit more for that, because that's something I've always asked for whenever we get extra bits with our statues. Give us some way to display them rather than send them away in the boxes and leave them unseen. Now we come to the part of the video that everyone has been waiting for. How does this statue stand up to the XM release of the same figure? Let's start by looking at the head portraits. While both statues come with head portraits, and some people have criticized the XM one for not looking so good, personally I feel if you have both in hand, the XM head portrait is slightly better. In terms of pose, I prefer the Sideshow pose. This is a thing that I noticed in the Sideshow piece. It did not have the Mark 42 band on the arm. When I spoke to XM on some of these differences, like you can see the mark on the hip, they told me that they got their baseline from Marvel themselves, so I'm not very sure here. In terms of the arc reactor, the detail on the XM statue is far superior than the one on Sideshow, which they kept very simplistic. Another piece here on the bottom of the shoulder is missing from the XM, and honestly I don't feel it works well. The paint app on the XM is overall much better than the Sideshow one, and the lining and detailing on the suit as well. Overall, I feel that the XM version of the Mach 42 is much better. The Sideshow piece is not that bad, but if I was to be honest, the XM statue is just a bit better. Granted, yes, it's about $300 more once you factor in all fees, etc., but it's just a better statue. So I'm sorry guys if you wanted to hear that the Sideshow one was better. So overall, what do I think about the statue? It's a great piece. The price is decent, $430, more than the previous prices of the statues released. But to be honest, for some reason I do not see why Sideshow are not able to give us an Iron Man statue with great paint. You would think with all the variants they did, with all the knockoffs that are available in the market, those Chinese guys would get better at painting these statues, but for some reason, unless legacy effects are involved, we cannot seem to get an Iron Man statue that is done well and painted without fault. Overall, if you're an Iron Man statue, if you're a Marvel Iron Man statue fan, Marvel fan, this is a statue that you should look into, and I would overall give it a B minus, just because of the overall paint and lining issues. To wrap up, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you'd like, share, comment and subscribe. I really welcome feedback, and I'm always looking for ways to improve my videos. Until I see you next time, this is V8 tuning out.